Alright, so we're going to look at solving some simple equations, right? So all I'm going to do today is just work some examples and hopefully you understand the concept by these examples. So to start off, we're going to look at something very simple. So for example, 2 plus x is equal to 5. Now, from observation, x is 3, right? But we just want to understand the concept behind, solving for x. How we isolate, x and solve for, the value of x. So for example, here, if we were to remove this 2 by subtracting 2, and then balancing the equation by subtracting 2 from the other side of the equation, we arrive at 3, just as we had anticipated, right? Now, if the question becomes just a little bit more challenging, so for example, let's put 2 plus, say, 3x is equal to 5. Now we follow the same procedure here. Now we have 3x is equal to 3. Now this number beside the 3, we need to remove it. So this is saying 3 times x. So to remove the 3 from the x, we just need to divide by 3. But to balance the equation, we have to also divide the other side by 3. So now we have x is equal to 1, right? Cancel, cancel. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, so let's look at another example. Example 3. Say we have a question. So let us use back 2 plus x equal, this time, 5 plus 2x. Now we have x on both sides of the equation. So we have an x on this side and 2x on this side of the equation. So the strategy here is to get the x's on one side of the equation and the numbers on the other side of the equation. So if somehow I could get, this removed here and just have x on this side of the equation by removing this 2 here and just having a number alone on this side of the equation, so x on one side and a number on the other side of the equation, then we're great. So we can start by deciding where we would like to have our x's and the numbers, which side. So I'm going to try and get the x's on the left side of the equation. So by removing 2x from this side and then balancing the equation by also applying the same minus 2x on this side, we have, so let's write that out. So you can imagine it's just 5, right? So simplifying this part, we have 2 minus x is equal to 5. Now we have seen a similar setup before in say question 1 or 2. So all we need to do from here is to isolate this minus x by removing 2 from this side and then applying the same minus 2 on the other side to balance the equation. So now we have, right? But we're not finished because we want to solve for x, and this is currently minus x. So by multiplying both sides by a negative 1, we are left with x is equal to minus 3. Okay, let us look at another example real quick. Something a little more, so I'm going to try and divide the page a little. All right, so for example, for x minus 10 plus 2x equal to 3 minus 10x. Now we see 4x and 2x on this side of the equation, minus 10x here. So focusing on this side of the equation, we see where we can simplify this side of the equation from the get-go. So by adding 4x and 2x, we get 6x. And we put back the minus 10 and proceed as usual. Now, this would remind us of the question we did before. So we just have to decide which side of the equation we want to have our x's and where we want to have our numbers, right? So I would rather to have the x on the left side. So by adding 10x here, for the sake of removing the negative 10x, then applying 10x here, we are left with, so let me write it out. We have 6x plus 10x minus 10 is equal to 3. So we can simplify this. So 6x plus 10x is 16x minus 10 equal 3. And then by adding 10 to both sides, because we want to have 16x by itself, we now have 16x is equal to 13. Then, as before, we would like to isolate x. So this is 16 times x. So to remove the 16, we divide this side by 16 and then balance the equation by also dividing 13 by 16. So we're left with x equal 13 over 16. Right? So that is it for today. You know, you can look out for other videos for more examples. Okay.